Welcome. It's V from Movies Hunter, and today we're going to be diving headfirst into the world of the 2022 comedy drama Babylon. So our story begins in Bel Air, California in the year 1926. Manuel, or aka Manny right here, is tasked with the important job of transporting an elephant to a party hosted by the one and only Don Wallach. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but whatever. He is basically a big shot studio executive. But wait, twist alert. Manny is informed by the truck driver that the cargo he's been entrusted to transport is not, in fact, a horse as he was told, but an elephant. Not to worry though, Manny simply bribes the driver to carry the hefty pachyderm. As they make their way up a hill, disaster strikes. The weight of the elephant causes the truck to start rolling backwards, and Manny right here and his partner scramble to push it back up. But wait, things get even worse, because the elephant decides to let loose a hefty load right on Manny's unfortunate partner. Yikes! Talk about a stinky situation. But never fear, a convoy of helpful souls comes to the rescue and assists Manny in delivering the elephant to the extravagant and over-the-top, frankly, party. Now let me tell you, this party has got it all. Nude or topless women, a plethora of drugs, and even a jazz musician by the name of Sidney Palmer and his band. Not to be outdone, cabaret singer Lady Fei Zhu brings the sultry vibes with a steamy song for the crowd. But the real drama begins when veteran actor Jack shows up with his wife, Ina. Unfortunately, Ina is less than pleased with Jack's behavior as he keeps speaking to her in Italian and not taking her seriously. Ina demands a divorce, and Jack wastes no time in finding solace in the arms of a waitress at the party. Meanwhile, Manny catches sight of a young woman named Nellie Leroy, who crashes her car into a statue as she arrives. It's a mess. Now, when the security guard tries to deny her entry, Manny comes to the rescue and helps her get inside. Manny and Nellie soon find themselves in a room with drugs, and the two of them bond over a little bit of coke. Nellie confides in Manny about her aspirations for stardom, having come all the way from New Jersey. Meanwhile, Manny shares his own dreams of leaving his mark on the film industry, and it's clear that these two are quickly falling for each other. Ugh, young love. Blech. A young actress named Jane decides to party a little too hard with an older man, and things get weird. I'm talking golden showers weird. Yikes. Of course, Manny's boss, Bob Levine, tells Manny and his co-worker to fix the mess. But how do they do it, you ask? They release an elephant into the party, freaking everyone out so they can sneak Jane, who is now unconscious from all the partying, without anyone noticing. Meanwhile, our girl, Nellie, who's high as a kite and feeling the music, dances her way through the party like a boss. And boy does she make an impression, so much so that she is offered a role in a film set since Jane was supposed to play the part. Who knew dancing could get you a job in Hollywood? I'm gonna start practicing. Anyway, Manny right here is not done yet. Bob orders him to take Jack, who's passed out drunk, back to his house, and let me tell you, Jack knows how to party. He even takes a tumble over the balcony into his pool, but no worries, he's still fine, and asks Manny to stick around with him. Sounds like a good time to me. The next day, Jack heads to work on a Crusader epic film, and Manny is there to handle the extras. But the extras have other ideas and start chasing after him. What's a guy to do? Grab a gun and ride a horse? Of course, because that's totally normal. Unfortunately, the horses end up wrecking all the cameras. Oh, my heart! And the director's not happy. I'm not happy. Jeez. But Manny is not one to give up that easily. He drives to a camera shop, waits an hour for the last available camera, and steals an ambulance to make it back to the set in time for the final shot. And what a shot it is! Jack kissing the leading lady, blah, 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 with a butterfly landing on him for some extra flair. The crew goes wild with cheers and applause. Nellie arrives on set to meet the director, Ruth Adler, and her trusty assistant, Max. Olivia Rodrigo, the casting director, is hoping for someone with more assets, but settles for Nellie nonetheless. She's set to play a role in a silent western film when she enters a bar and puts on a crew display. Classic Hollywood, am I right? But things take an unexpected turn when the film's lead actress, Constance Moore, arrives on set and is immediately upstaged by Nellie's acting chops. Both Ruth and visiting Wallach are impressed, while Constance seethes with anger. I mean, it's her money going into the film after all. But just when things seem to be going smoothly, a nearby set fire threatens to derail the production. But Ruth, ever the determined director, orders the camera to keep rolling, the show must go on. Anyway, fast forward to 1927, and Nellie's star is on the rise in Hollywood. Her work continues to outdo Constance's. Nellie's father, Robert, shows up to capitalize on her newfound fame. Meanwhile, Jack helps Manny land some assistant work on films. Oh, and Jack also marries a Hungarian actress named Olga Putti, but ends up getting shot in the arm when she finds out he cheated on her. Yes, it's very, I don't know. He calls up Jack to let him know that things are about to change in Hollywood, and boy are they ever. Fast forward again to 1928, and Manny finds Nellie once more, rescuing her from the clutches of crazed fans and photographers. They have a heart-to-heart about how people perceive her, and how she tries not to let that define her. Manny then accompanies her to visit her mother, who is institutionalized. Later, Nellie heads to work on a talking picture and boy oh boy is it a hot mess. The set is hotter than a sauna, causing poor Nellie and Ruth to sweat like pigs, and to top it all off, Lloyd, the sound mixer, can't make up his mind about how loud or how quiet Nellie should be, which is driving everyone crazy. The stress is so intense that one crew member begs to be let out of the recording booth, but Max, the producer, insists he stays put. Finally, they manage to get a successful take, and everyone cheers in excitement. But just when they thought things couldn't get any worse, the crew member in the booth collapses dead from heat stroke. Talk about a rough day at work. Later that night, Manny goes to a party where Jack arrives with his third wife, Estelle. Sydney and his band are jamming, and Faye is also in attendance. But things take a hilarious turn when Nellie shows up being carried by a whole football team. She takes advantage of the situation and plans a big old smoosh on Jack right here in front of Estelle. Oh, the drama. But the party doesn't end there. Faye decides to treat everyone to a sensual dance with Nellie, but unfortunately, a drunk partygoer ruins the mood by pushing through them. Feeling embarrassed, Nellie heads up to the bathroom to freshen up, only to overhear two guys talking smack about her voice. That's gonna hurt. As she steps outside, she sees her dad talking to another woman about fighting a snake. Suddenly, Nellie has a brilliant idea. She calls everyone out and asks if they want to see Robert fight a snake. To her surprise, the crowd responds with a resounding cheer. So they all jump into a car and head off to the desert. As they arrive, Nellie spots a rattlesnake and tells Robert to fight it. Robert prepares himself for the fight, but he quickly passes from the intense heat. Not wanting to back down from a challenge, Nellie decides to take matters into her own hands and fight the snake herself. As everyone watches in horror, Nellie grabs the snake and it bites her neck. Chaos ensues and no one knows what to do until Faye steps up and saves the day. She decapitates the snake with a knife and sucks the venom out of Nellie's neck. Whew, crisis averted. When Nellie regains consciousness, she's so grateful to Faye that she plants a big, juicy kiss on her lips. Well, I guess love really can come from the most unexpected places. Later, Manny recommends Sydney for a job at Kinescope Studios. Kinescope, I don't know. And just like that, Sydney is in the big leagues. Meanwhile, Nellie's reputation is going downhill faster than a roller coaster. Her constant partying and gambling, along with her alleged relationship with Faye, gets Faye fired since Hollywood is becoming more puritanical. Oopsie. Nellie overhears Manny pitching a plan to the higher-ups about fixing her reputation, and she is not pleased. But when she meets with gossip journalist Eleanor St. John, things start to turn around. In the midst of all this, Jack's close friend, George Munn, kills a woman he was having an affair with and then commits suicide. It's a lot to process, and Jack is distraught. But when Estelle referred to his work as low art, he snaps. Can't the guy catch a break? Anyway, fast forward again to 1930, and Hollywood has transitioned into talking films. Manny and Eleanor have been working hard to revamp Nellie's image, and they finally get her invited to a fancy party with other snotty upper-class socialites and film people. That was a tongue twister. Anyway, Nellie tries to project a posh and sophisticated image, but it's clear that she's struggling to fit in. And when she goes off on a profane tirade, pigs out on the food and storms out, we can't help but chuckle. But when it gets better, she storms back in and projectile vomits on the rug and on the face of the party's host. Classic Nellie. Fast forward again to 1932, and Jack is now a washed-up actor whose career is going down faster than a lead balloon. He goes to see his latest movie, and surprise, surprise, the audience is laughing at him instead of with him. Yikes, talk about a rough crowd. But it gets worse when he reads a column by Eleanor, who straight up tells him his time as an actor is over. Harsh much out. But wait, there's more. In comes Irving Thalberg, a movie executive who offers Jack a project that he now sucks. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence, Irving. At this point, Jack is probably thinking he should just retire and become a hermit or something. Meanwhile, Manny right here is living his best life when Nellie comes crashing in, panicking about owing 85 grand to a gangster. And get this, if she doesn't pay up, they'll pour acid on her genitals. What kind of sick and twisted stuff is this gangster into? Manny initially says no to helping her out, but after remembering their past and how much he cares for her, he agrees to help. Cue the Count, a fellow drug-pushing aspiring actor who helps Manny in their quest to pay off Nellie's debt. Now things get wild when they head to the gangster home with a bag of fake prop money. The gangster takes them to an underground location where depraved sex acts are taking place. No thanks, I'll pass on that invitation, but it's all good, right? Wrong, because the Count pulls a fast one and reveals that the money is fake, and they almost get caught. Manny gets gangster on them and jabs a mace into Wilson's neck, and then they all run for their lives while being chased by the other thugs. Oh, and they released a chained alligator because why not? After narrowly escaping gunfire, Manny and Ellie pack their bags and head to Mexico with the Count. But before they leave, Nellie attends a party and starts dancing. Classic Nellie move, am I right? Manny is dressing up because they need to leave soon, but Nellie breaks down and admits to all the trouble she's caused him. But hey, true love prevails, and they decide to get married and start a new life together. The photographer captures their first kiss as a married couple, and hopefully they live happily ever after. Meanwhile, Jack is at a party with his newest girlfriend when he runs into Faye for one time. She drops the bombshell that she's leaving for Europe to work for Pathy Studios, and they say their goodbyes. Faye looks back at Jack with a sad expression, but he doesn't pay it any mind. What does he do instead? He quickly gets up to the hotel, drops a gun, and shoots himself in the head. Sorry, but yikes, it's not a happy ending. Meanwhile, Manny and Ellie are having some relationship issues of their own. Manny goes to the Count's apartment to get their things, leaving Ellie in the car to wait for him. But, instead of waiting, she dances away into the darkness. One of McKay's thugs show up and kills the Count and his roommate while Manny begs for his life. The thug orders Manny to leave LA, so he hops in his car and books it. Fast forward a bit and we see a montage of people attending Jack's funeral. The newspaper articles announced the deaths of Eleanor and Nellie too. Sad stuff all around, but then we jump ahead to 1952, where Manny returns to LA with his wife and daughter. He stops by Kinoscope Studios to talk to a security guard, bragging about his successful business in New York. While his wife and daughter head back to their hotel, Manny goes to the movies to watch Singing in the Rain. He notes the similarities between the film and his time with Nellie, and it brings him to tears as he misses her. Another montage shows the evolution of films from the silent era to contemporary hits like The Terminator, The Matrix, and Avatar. Realizing that he achieved his dream of leaving his mark on the industry, Manny smiles through his tears, and so this was the story of Babylon. See you in the next hunt.